How you feeling being back, Freddie?
I was glad to be back. Then I found out I was gonna be back against E. Then I was ecstatic.
Oh, the trash.
The first question: Dexter and Light. Who was more justified in their actions?
Light, because his main goal was to create a world with zero criminals in it. Period. That's what he wanted. He wanted crime to stop. He was tired of the way the world was. He wanted to cleanse a rotting world. He wanted a world that was without pain, without suffering. People were on equal footing. That was it. And he was there to govern over that world with this death note to kill anyone who contradicted that plan.
Dexter, you got to remember, he witnessed the violent murder of his mother at the tender age of 3, which obviously gets deep into your psyche. And his father spent over a decade training him to kill and get away with it instead of getting counseling for it. In a sense, your father and mother got you doing the role of killing. You got to remember what Dexter is doing it for. Dexter literally is the son of a cop. He is following the code of trying to take down murderers. Dexter only kills murderers. And his mother was murdered by a murderer. And so in some sense, there is a Batman complex there too, where Dexter is trying to avenge the loss of his mother, who couldn't prevent the crime happening to, and also trying to keep others from suffering like he did.
Dexter, as a grown man now, still not seeking help, finding more ways to get away with killing people to satiate his desires and his urges. He has no motivations other than that. Yeah, he needs counseling. That's sad. I hear that, but I don't think that makes him more justified than Light, because Light actually wants a better world. He wants to rid the world of criminals, period.
Light Yagami is the most pampered prima donna in probably all of anime, and that's saying something. He kills whimsically just because he can. And he believes that he's justified in doing it because he thinks that he's better than anybody else. He once killed Roy Pembroke? He killed that cop. Thank you. He killed Roy and his fiancée for no other reason than that they were getting somewhat close to possibly finding out who he is. There is no actual justification in your actions there for doing that other than self-preservation. And if self-preservation is what you're after, and self-preservation is what matters most to you, then you're nothing more than a spoiled little child with a wild machine gun.
Who walked the line between the hero and the
Okay, we talked about Cop's son. Light was the son of the man leading the task force to go after Kira, the villain side of him. The chip scene, man. The chip scene, looking like a normal student studying for finals while the whole time using his left hand to write down names in the death note.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
That if that's not walking the line between just normal boy who's just trying to, make it in his family, be the star in his mother's eye, while still doing what he needs to do to make sure his plan comes to fruition, that was just phenomenal. He kills crime bosses. He only kills bad guys. That's your thing, right? He kills the baddest of the baddies. Like, he kills guys who organize hits on government officials and this, that, and the other. So he's making a difference. Despite all of that, he came back to make himself a symbol. Like, people know Kira will kill you if you're doing bad things. Nobody knows about what Dexter is doing, or they don't fear him. They're not deterred from crime when they hear his name.
But I gotta agree with Rain on that. Light did eat the fuck out of that shit.
Yes.
Dexter Morgan is literally a walking contradiction. Dexter, the name Dexter, is essentially his alter ego. It's the fake persona he developed. His real face is the dark passenger, as he calls it. He kills murderers, but has no authority to do so, right? He works with the police, but constantly obstructs justice. His whole life is a lie, which is also very hero and villain. He lies to protect the ones he loves, but his lies end up leading to the deaths of innocent people, like Rita, his wife, like Maria, a former lieutenant. He saved people's lives, but also damned people, like his sister, and numerous girlfriends, and friends and there's plenty of people who oftentimes end up being collateral trying to protect Dexter. There's something more heroic in the world than saving somebody. There's something more villainous in the world than causing someone else to be damned because of you.
Now, this is the question I've been waiting to hear the most, because both characters have a very strong hope that they go fine. But the question is, who sucks that code?
Light definitely stuck to his code the most, and unfortunately, it cost him his life. Light had a very simple code that was more intertwined with his goals. His goal was to rid the world of crime. So to caveat off what you said earlier, he killed people that were in prison. Yeah, because like I said, he's going after crime bosses that can still do a lot of damage from their jail cell. L got in his way. Unfortunately, L was one of those people who had the potential to think like Light. Light was a bored genius, and he finally had somebody who was as smart as him, his intelligence, and pushing his buttons. He had to go. Light was so determined to have this world this goal that he had, that he was willing to kill people that got in his way. Talk about the time where he sacrificed his memory, swapped death notes, or he didn't even kill L. He had somebody else kill L for him. That's how much foresight he had to make sure that his utopia, this world that he wanted without crime, would come to fruition.
So Dexter follows a simple code. It is known as the Code of Harry. Sometimes it's called the Code. Rule number 1, never get caught. And rule number 2, only kill someone after you have conclusive evidence they are guilty of murder. All right. Rule number 1, let me ask y'all this. How many times does Dexter go to prison?
Not once, not one time!
While you're doing that math, I'll go ahead and address part number 2 of the code. Dexter seemingly has had issues where his girlfriends or his wives figure something out about him, but he's always able to make them come to his side because he is such a smooth operator. And they see that what he's doing is a necessary, quote unquote, evil. Dexter found out that his dad, Harry, his foster father, Harry, was banging his biological mother. And that kind of inadvertently led to her death. And he was pissed off at Harry. Yet despite all that, he was still willing to follow the Code of Harry because he knew it was essential. It was crucial and staying to his cause. And last but not least, I have to address Dokes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
If y'all have seen season 2 of Dexter, you know how much he bends over backwards to keep Dokes alive. He could have just offed Dokes early on, but he didn't do it. He let that man live. That alone is why Dexter deserves to win this debate.
No pussyfooting around.
No pussyfoot. My foot is all kinds of dick. That makes sense.
All right. I don't think we can say that in Pokemon.
I mean what they said, actually. I apologize for the rest.